I decided I would actually review dissociative identity disorder on a live, and maybe we could just chop it up. I did find even a brief video to kind of even show you just what it does look like, so that way everyone will have a better understanding. I'm hoping that I'll be able to see if someone does come in or not. Y'all remember, I don't really do the live from the phone often. So I think this is my second time. I can't remember. But anywho, so welcome back to Convos with Cam. I'm excited that all of you are able to just take a quick break from your day and tune in. I was really excited to actually just listen, read, excuse me, read some of your comments. As you know, one of you, I believe it was Eric O, that, was saying how, you know what, I used to equate dissociative identity disorder to more rehabilitation. Well, a lot of that is true, because in rehabilitation, when you see that acronym, um, what's up, insane, peace and blessings to you. When you see that acronym, they're actually talking about like disability. They're also talking about integration back into one society. So, like, say if someone has been incarcerated, then that's when you may see that actual acronym. So, it's just something different, Erico. But you are on, the right course with what you were talking about. What's up, mommy? How are you, beautiful mommy? Oh, Freedom's March. What's up, bro? So happy to see you. You know I appreciate y'all. All right. So I also believe Daryl had said, I forget what he said specifically and what he thought, DID was. It just came back to me. He equated it almost to possibly someone having a double life, if you will, not so much split personality. Before I continue, can y'all hear me okay? Can somebody let me know if you can hear me clearly? I don't know if somebody can just let me know if y'all can hear me all right. Hopefully. Amazing. Thank you. All right. So we talked about dissociation. Hey, thank you, mommy. Talked about dissociation a long time ago in just various videos. And that is just when someone has actually separated or detached, if you will, because, they detach from thoughts, images, um, reality, you know. Um, Typically, all dissociation comes up due to that overwhelming emotion that the individual is unable to cope with at that time and manage. And because it becomes so overwhelming, then it is safer for them to just dissociate. What's up at TWR? Blessings to you. What's up, my musical brother, DP Rocker? What's up? TWR, I don't know if you saw it. I was in the chat for Supreme Beast yesterday, and I was joking how every time I actually wear any merch, then I always will be like, yeah, it's your usual suspect thing. I don't know why I do that, but it brings me joy. So today I have on Stormy B, man. That's what I'm rocking today. How are you? So happy to see y'all. All right. So that's just the gist of dissociation, right? Just a quick definition of dissociation. Now, dissociative identity disorder. This actually happens, what's up, Snoopy Mac? When someone has had that overwhelming childhood trauma. Can also come from disasters. Um, it can come from just any experience that was so overwhelming that when it looks like, feels like, smells like, you know how we say that, then the person just dissociates. The only difference in dissociation, which can't you? Oh, hi. Okay. Um, my mods in here, please watch the chat. Thank you. So dissociative identity disorder. The difference is now we're talking about someone that is detaching from their identity. Split personality. That's what it used to be called. Some people used to call it multiple personalities disorders, right? And then now we have dissociative identity disorder. And it's when an individual has two or more different identities that alter, just who they are. The scary thing in this is that the individual may not even be aware. They can go years, y'all, not even knowing. Because when they have what we call a switch, that's when you go to a new identity. It's a gap in time. It's almost like amnesia. They're not even aware. So most cases, doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, they are able to diagnose when a child is between the ages of about 5 and 10. But in a lot of cases, what happens is it's not until somebody's an adult and they never knew that they were going from a 6-year-old to a 15-year-old to even possibly a different gender. Okay? Stay with me, y'all. Okay, DP Rocka. All right. The Exorcist, I would not use that one. That's a whole different thing. That's a different possession. Now, what's interesting is we actually do call it possession, but it's not like the spiritual belief systems that we know of as far as religion and that type of possession. So let's talk about that. So thank you for even saying that, DP Rocky. You reminded me. When someone is having that dissociative identity, that episode, that switch, and they're totally not even aware, it takes over them, if you will, that's called possession. Non-possession, what's up, PGH Big Dog? Okay, nice to see you. So happy y'all are in here. But then the non-possession, thank you, is the total opposite, right? And so what happens with that is they're aware of these switches, but it's not where they have so much of this gap in time. That it may be someone who has actually had years and years of therapy. So, they've kind of learned to better manage this identity disorder. It's pretty interesting. Really, really interesting. It's amazing what childhood trauma can bring on an individual, y'all. So, any questions before I share something with y'all? Any questions? I had gotten a call. Hopefully I'm back, okay? What's up, NBA D Nice? So nice to see you. So is anybody even familiar with dissociative identity disorder? Or is this kind of like your first time really hearing about it? Hi, how are you? I said thank you already. Thank you. All right. So another thing that I did want to bring up was it's really, really rare. It's not a diagnosis that you're going to see all the time. I want to say research even shows it's like less than 1.5% of individuals that have this diagnosis. Now, I've worked with maybe a few, I would say at the max 4 individuals that do have that diagnosis of, just to say the acronym DID, right? And of course, you all know where I work at. We're really focused on helping someone not, follow through with suicide, things like that. They're in crisis. And so the interesting thing, though, is that individuals that have this diagnosis, they are actually 70% more likely to do like a suicide attempt or maybe self-injurious behaviors. So it's interesting to think about it, when we just look at the research. Not really shocked though, because That has to be quite distressing. Can you even imagine living a life where all throughout the day, if something becomes triggering or overwhelming, you are literally just switching your entire identity, right? Any questions so far for anyone that's still here regarding the topic? That is, I'll give you a second while I sip on my icy. What's up, family? So happy to see you, Mr. Shelton. But DP Rocka, speaking of movies that do actually depict split personality or dissociative identity disorder, it's actually the movie Split, Psycho, and then an older movie, I think it was like in the 70s it was released, is Sybil, where you actually see it depicted. Now, it's not that extreme, and when I say extreme, I'm talking about Split, like where he was climbing the walls and standing on the ceilings, things like that. It's not that extreme, but Sybil definitely did depict, switch. The Shining, I'll have to go back and watch that one because, yeah, it definitely was a psychological thriller. I don't recall if it was so much as the DID. Yes, it was, Shelton. Yes, it was. Yeah. Yeah, but I like The Shining. I'm a big Stephen King fan, so yeah. But I wanted to show y'all this. This is actually from, and I hope it works the way I plan for it to work. This is actually from a quick documentary that was done from USA Today years ago. And I just want to show y'all what it can actually look like.
My mom died. And Chrissy wants to have her juice. I want
to
know where the
peanut
donuts are.
Breakfast time is a busy time at the Patillo home. The only place busier than the kitchen is Christine Patillo's mind.
Because I'm just extra special.
Tristan, you are extra special.
I love you. I love you. But they love me.
What do we have going?
Cindy was just out.
Christine has 6 other personalities called alters
Am I Aunt Danny?
living inside her head.
You don't like blueberries in your pancakes either, do you?
I don't actually mind them. She despises fruit.
All distinct and different, all with their own voice.
I can hear them if I'm paying attention. They can look out through my eyes and they can see what's ever in my peripheral.
Dada, one more.
Sure.
Cut it out.
That is 2-year-old Cindy. The rest of the gang, as they're called, will introduce themselves.
I'm Christine.
I'm Chrissy. I'm Tristan, the lone male.
I'm she. I am Q. I do all the beats. I'm Rim.
Christine has dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. It's recognized by the American Psychiatric Association and affects just a fraction of 1% of the population.
What do y'all think? Yeah. I would say if I think back, the most I've ever seen is 3. An individual having 3 switches, like where they go from different identities. The beautiful Queen TB, what's up? The Queen sis, so happy to see you. Hoping that you're having a wonderful, wonderful week. But yeah, y'all, just to kind of even make it real so y'all can see, like, wow, it's people that are really dealing with this. The treatment for this, you may ask. It's what I do. I often will say, hey, resident and counseling, I provide psychotherapy. So psychotherapy is beneficial for individuals that do have this diagnosis. Parts work. Y'all remember we actually did parts work. We did a mini series where we did go through some various parts of self, but parts work can be beneficial with those who do have DID because it allows them to recognize these various parts without judgment, without fear. Also, it allows us to help these parts, come forward, because the young lady we just watched, she's somebody who's had years of therapy. In order for those switches to be that natural and comfortable for her, that's because she's worked with someone over the years that has helped, her get to a better place where she can manage them. So, any questions before I roll out, y'all? I hope y'all enjoyed just briefly learning about DID. It's definitely a rare diagnosis, though, but it's real. And if you remember just from the title on yesterday, when I did the video, I said, is it real or is it performative? No, it's definitely a real diagnosis. So I appreciate all of you for stopping by. I definitely pray that you all have a wonderful day. And as always, be gentle with yourselves. We're all doing this life for the very first time. Peace and blessings. Y'all already know I'll see y'all in these YouTube streets, right? All right.